Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Department of Justice, DOJ, cleared Dan Wilson of civil rights charges in Ferguson, Missouri. And this is done by a black Department of Justice. Eric Holder, who in my opinion would have loved to find something on Dan Wilson to keep the race issue going. In the meantime, those black thugs in Ferguson, so-called peaceful marchers, have destroyed properties, stolen properties, just went off the deep end due to the lack of character. Vandalism, just you name it, they went out of control, put black and white people out of business in that area, some. And now, Officer Dan Wilson was not wrong. Didn't do anything wrong. Can he get his life back? Will any of those people apologize and do all they can do to help Officer Wilson get his life back? Will Obama, Eric Holder, the trash Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all of those black preachers who participated, T.D. Jakes, will any of those people publicly apologize to Officer Dan Wilson and his family for what they have done to that man? Do they have any decency in them at all that they would apologize to Officer Wilson? Will they apologize? And where are my black callers who were calling in saying that I hated black people because I called Michael Brown a thug and that I was defending Officer Dan Wilson, a white racist cop, they said? Will my black callers apologize for hating Officer Wilson for no reason? My friend, Sheriff David Clark, responded to the Department of Justice clearing Officer Dan Wilson of civil rights charges in the Michael Brown shooting. He was on Fox and Friends, and we got this from Mediat. Sheriff David Clark, Al Sharpton should go back into the gutter he came from. Here's the first soundbite. Fox and Friends host asked Sheriff David Clark of Milwaukee about the Ferguson outcome.
Your impression?
Well, they knew this from the beginning. This whole thing was premised on a lie. This hands up, don't shoot, this Black Lives Matter. The facts are the facts. I don't care who looks at them. They can have the world court look at it if they want, but the facts remain the same. The grand jury in Ferguson, Missouri got it right. Officer Wilson has been exonerated. The thing I want to know is how does he go and get his reputation back, or where does he go to get his reputation back? How do we put that toothpaste back in the tube?
Absolutely. Eric Holder, the president, Al Sharpton, all owe, the city of Ferguson, Missouri, an apology. You told one of our producers in chatting with you yesterday that you feel that Eric Holder is guilty of race baiting. Why?
Just take a look at the history here. This isn't the first time that he has done this sort of thing. He sat up there for months just slandering law enforcement officers all across the nation. He's the one in Ferguson, Missouri that brought up the racial profiling term, and that we were going to end racial profiling once and for all, he said. He invoked that into this thing when that was never any part of what happened between the tragedy between Officer Darren Wilson and Mike Brown. But again, this is kind of habit now for this Justice Department under Eric Holder, and I just think it's a shame.
And the problem is Al Sharpton is a rat, and he doesn't care about reputation. He has no reputation. He doesn't care about that. And also, folks, I can guarantee you, with all that is within me, and because most black people are racist toward white Americans, now that the truth is out and has been put out by a black Department of Justice, that many most blacks are still not going to accept it. They are not going to accept it. And if you remember, they never accepted the innocence of Joyce Zimmerman in the Trayvon Martin shooting. They didn't accept that either. They can't accept it. They won't accept it because they are racist themselves. They hate white Americans. They resent white folks. And when you resent, you cannot accept the truth. You cannot accept the fact about the situation. That's why you got to drop your anger. There's never a time to be angry about anything, so you can always see the truth in every situation. And I can go on with the situations that have happened. A few, like, remember the Tawana Brawley situation? Al Sharpton, some stupid black girl falsely accused white cops in New York. Al went on the rampage, got those officers fired, nearly destroyed their lives, found out the girl lied. She admitted she lied. No big deal. You just walked away from that. Gina Six, Duke Lacrosse. It goes on and on and on. And most black, you're going to talk to the regular black folks. They're going to say, well, black people are still under attack. Too many young black kids are being killed or shot by white officers. They're never going to accept it, the truth, until you can change their hearts. They need a renewed heart. And that's why this year, we'll focus on helping black Americans to overcome their blackness and focus on character building. You can't build character as long as you're focused on a material thing, a physical thing, or physical aspect of life. You gotta focus on the spirit. Fox and Friends host says the Department of Justice felt like they had to do something. Listen to this.
Well, I think the Justice Department felt like they had to do something because Al Sharpton, who is an advisor to the President of the United States, was on television saying things like this at the time.
How many people have to die before people understand this is not an illusion? This is a reality that America has got to come to terms with. This is going to be a winter that we're going to freeze out police brutality in this country. Eric Garner, Michael Brown, enough is enough.
Well, newsflash for Al Sharpton, no civil rights violation in Ferguson, Missouri. Sheriff, you get the final word.
I don't expect anything intelligent to come out of the mouth of Al Sharpton. We all know that he's a charlatan. As a matter of fact, the next intelligent thing that comes out of his mouth will be the first. Al Sharpton ought to just shut up and go back into the gutter that he came from, apologize. He will not do that, but the American police officer is owed a lot from him, from Eric Holder, and from the President of the United States.
What a good man, Sheriff David Clark. I'm looking at this picture right now in my studio. He sent me a autograph picture. He was on the show. Just, you know, when I hear people like Sheriff Clark, Justice Clarence Thomas, Walter Williams, Star Parker and others, Thomas Sowell, when I hear these guys speaking and ladies speaking, I realize even more so that it's going to take black Americans to turn this country around. People like Alan West, it's going to take black Americans to turn this country around. I have a picture in my studio with Alan West right now. Because it was black Americans who brought America to her knees, nearly destroyed this country. And I think it's going to take black Americans to wake up and overcome and turn it around, because I've noticed that black Americans who at one time were liberal and in some cases Democrats, when they finally wake up and overcome being a Democrat and a liberal, and their hearts are changed, they come out very strong and powerful and unafraid and just really deal with the issue. It would be something else to see Black Americans standing for good. A house divided against itself cannot stand. That's according to Abraham Lincoln. It's So Polite Friday. Back in a moment.